All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The Anti-Christians' Unbelief of the Future Kingdom. And I'm joined by the officer Kaya.
Shalom.
From the Indianapolis camp. And, I was going for my walk a little while ago. And I was just meditating on pretty much on the future kingdom coming and the slavery that's coming, and that title just popped in my head, the anti-Christians' unbelief of the future kingdom. And this is why the Apostle Paul said, what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid, because at the end of the day, the Lord's word is going to be accomplished, regardless of who believes it, who accepts it or not. And you can't refute it. You ain't going to be able to, talk your way out of it. You can't pay your way out of it. Scriptures say that, your money is not going to be able to save you in the day of the Lord's wrath. So you're not going to be able to escape from the times that are coming. And it's been a long time coming for you Edomites, to receive judgment for the atrocities that you've committed on the planet. And one major thing that these devils try to get away from is, pain. That's why when we speak about the concept and the doctrine of reincarnation, which is biblical, they always want to stray away from it. You don't understand that all the spirits that are created are constantly, they're being like recycled, coming down to the earth. Because the scriptures say that the father shall not pay for the sons of for the sins of the son, neither shall the son pay for the sins of the father. So if that's the case, when we run into scriptures like, prepared slaughter for his, matter of fact, let's start off with that. Let's start off first. Let's go to Isaiah 14. Yeah, let's start off with that one first. That's okay. Okay, let's Isaiah 14 and what is that? 16, 21? Damn, I'm getting old. That
Isaiah 14 and 21. It says, "Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities." So
if we read this here, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, but then in Ezekiel, I believe it's the 18th chapter, it says that the father shall not pay for the sins of the son. So is this a contradiction, or is there an explanation that would explain both of these things and make them both to be true? And what it is, you don't have the understanding. And the very understanding of it would be the word reincarnation, which the word reincarnation means what?
Back in the flesh.
Back in the flesh. Yeah. So what goes back in the flesh? The spirit goes back in the flesh. Back in is incarnation is flesh. Back in the flesh. What goes back in the flesh? The spirit. Why? Because when you die, everyone dies. The flesh, which is dust, goes back to the earth, and the spirit that's within us goes back to the Heavenly Father for judgment. All right. And then when you come down to the earth, you play out your judgment on the earth. Matter of fact, when you get,
Ecclesiastes?
Yes. What is that? 3? Third chapter about the place of judgment.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know if it's a 16th verse. Because that's why these devils they're trying to get away from that, because of the fact that they don't want to pay. And there's one thing that these devils understand is that somebody's got to pay for the things that are coming. I got it, bro. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Ecclesiastes 3 and 16 says, "And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment."
So what's under the sun? The earth. The place of judgment. That what?
It says that wickedness was there.
Right. Go ahead.
And the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
Right. So you have wickedness that's ruling the planet because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and the ones that are in control of it are the Edomites, so-called white people. And then the place of righteousness is where? The land of Israel. And you see iniquity there. What is iniquity? Compounded sin. sin on top of sin on top of sin on top of sin. So judgment is played out here. So when man dies, your spirit goes up into the heavens. The Apostle Paul proved that. You know, he said when he passed, you know, he said he didn't know if he was in the flesh or not. You know, he didn't know if he was dead or not. He said he was caught up to the third heaven. His spirit was just about to be brought before the throne of the Most High, but just before he got there, the spirit came back down because he still had more work to do. So he saw things that were so profound and amazing that he couldn't even put it into words. So when a man dies, spirit, the flesh goes into the earth, the spirit goes back up into the heavens.
I got that too for you.
All right, bring it out.
Ecclesiastes 12:7. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto the Most High who gave it.
Right. And why does the spirit return back to the Most High who gave it? Because, you know, man, whatever they do in the flesh, they must go before the throne of the Lord, whether it's good or bad, to be judged for it, so that you can know what your next mission is the next time you come to the earth. You know, now animals don't go, their spirit doesn't go up to the heavens. When an animal dies, a dog dies, a cat dies, deer, whatever, their spirit stays on the earth. Why is that? Because animals are in order. Fish are in order. You know, reptiles are in order. They don't need to go before the throne of the Most High. Although the Lord created those spirits, they don't have to go before the throne because they're in order. They don't have to be judged. All right. So going back to, you got something?
Nope.
Let's go back to Isaiah 14:21. Now, with that understanding, now you understand why it says that the Son shall not pay for the sins of the Father, nor the Father for the sins of the Son. And then you understand better a scripture like this in Isaiah 14:21.
It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
Now, why is that? Because it's the fathers, when they pass, in generations to come, they come back as the children in that family line. You know, now the Rothschilds understood that very well. That's why they would teach their sons, pass everything on to their sons, because they knew eventually that wealth would be transferred back to themselves later on. There was another precept that came to mind. I can't think of it right now. So read that again.
It says,
and if you have anything, you know, any points you want to make.
Isaiah 14:21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So now you understand that. Oh, let's go to Numbers 14. Because this further explains reincarnation. Let me see. It's Numbers 14 and 18.
Got you. It says, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is long suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty.
See, and by no means clearing the guilty. So somewhere along the line, the guilty have to pay. Go ahead.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
So we know the fathers don't pay for the children don't pay for the fathers, but there's a reason why the iniquity is visited upon the fathers, or the fathers is visited upon the children unto the third and fourth generation. Because around the third or fourth generation, that same spirit will be coming back within that family line. You know? And that's when the Lord will bring judgment. That's why, matter of fact, let's go to St. John chapter 9 and 1.
Yeah.
And that's why Yahushai, or the disciples asked Yahushai this question. Now, the reason why this man was born the way he was born was to justify, glorify Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai when Yahushai, you know, performed the miracle on him. That was the reason why he was, you know, born that way. But the point of the matter is, when the disciples asked Yahushai, you know, why he did it and why he was born that way, you know, the way that they phrased the question, they understood about reincarnation. And we're going to get one more, and then we're going to get into
John 9 and 1. It says, and Yahushai passed by. And as Yahushai passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?
So if he was born blind, how could he have sinned to be born blind? See, that's the question. They understood about reincarnation back then, unlike today. So the point, like I said, he wasn't born that way because of anyone's sin. He was born that way for the Most High to be glorified through his son Yahushua. But the point is, the reason why they asked the question that way is because they understood about reincarnation. Okay, because it is impossible for the man to sin if he was born that way. So if the case was that he was born because he sinned that way, when did he sin? In the past life. And they understood that. Now let's get one more. What is that? Is that Matthew 16? Where the Yahushua asked him?
Yeah.
All right.
Matthew 16 and 13. When Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, Whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, Some say that thou art John the Baptist.
Go ahead.
Some Elias. And others Jeremias, or one of the prophets.
Right. So why were they reasoning like that? Because reincarnation does exist in the scriptures. You know, so they were saying, well, he might be Jeremiah, he might be Elijah, he might be one of the other prophets, you know, in the reincarnation, because the prophets were long gone. They were dead already. So why did they say that? Because they understood about the concept of reincarnation in the scriptures. So now when you read the book, let's read that one more time in Isaiah 14. When you read that scripture now, it'll make more sense when you understand the concept of reincarnation. Now, the word reincarnation does not appear in the Bible, but what does appear is the word regeneration, which we're going to examine that. So go ahead.
It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So now you understand. So how would they pay? When they come down in the down later on within the family line or the genealogy of that peoples. And that's where you have certain people born, born maimed, lame, blind, retarded, right? Crippled, just certain ways that they would be born because of what? Reincarnation, because of something they did in their past life. Now sometimes they're born that way for another reason, as in the case of the blind man, but for the most part, that's the way the Lord judges someone. And someone could be born regular, but then have some horrific, in this next life, have some horrific event happen to him to where he's either taken out or put in a condition to where he can't even move around. You see? So let's go from there to Matthew 19 and 27. The point is in 28.
Okay, Con. This is Matthew 19, verse 27. It says, Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?
Right, because we're not doing this just because it's something to do. It's a pastime. We're doing this for a reward, for everlasting life, for salvation, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones.
Right. So it says that Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory. Future, when Yahushua is established, right? So the word here is regeneration, which is the same concept as reincarnation. It's just not written as reincarnation, it's written as regeneration. And what is regeneration? The word re is back. And the word generate it goes back to the word Genesis or genealogy, which goes back to the word race or raza, which goes back to what? Sperm, the nationality of a person. And that's why you had genealogies. What are genealogies? Genealogies were the male line going back to the original or the prototype, the first man. And then you would have a genealogy from this particular family. It would be all male, the son of so and so, the son of so and so, the son of so and so, the son of so and so. So palingenesia, right? New birth, reproduction, renewal, recreation, regeneration. Now let's see. I don't think that the dictionary is going to give. Let me see. Regeneration is an active process of regenerating. In biology, it refers to the regrowth of lost or destroyed parts or organs.
I got it in Edom too.
Yeah, bring it out. What you got?
Regeneration in Edom Online. It says a being born again.
Beautiful.
It says to make over, generate again. It says from re meaning again, and generare or generari, bring forth, beget, produce, from genus, race, kind.
Right. So let's see, race, kind. Where's we bring forth, beget, produce from genus, which is a race, kind, and that's what you have. There's another word, but that's okay. Genus. There's an I believe ethnos goes into that, but genus, race, kind. All right, meaning through that family line, through that genealogy. Go ahead.
It says from gene, give birth, beget, with derivatives referring to procreation and familial and tribal groups.
Right, that's coming through the same group. Let's see, spiritual change. See, now here they're saying that being born again is spiritual change, which that's true too, but it took generations to accomplish that. All right. So the word regeneration is synonymous with the word reincarnation, because the word genesia goes back to the word Genesis, which means beginnings or origins. All right. Your genealogy is based off of your race or your nation. And it goes by the father. It doesn't go by the mother. Doesn't matter who the mother is. Right? Decease, generation, nativity. See? Nativity, where you come from. Figuratively, nature. So in the, physical sense is your nativity, where you come from, where who your peoples are. All right? So that's the regeneration. Because you come back later on in life, reborn into your same family. Whether you're born, because you don't have to necessarily be born into the same tribe. You could be born into another tribe, but you're still that same individual. That's why they say, they said that, Yahushua could have been one of those prophets because he was coming, like the prophet. So in other words, he was one of those, they believe he was one of those prophets reincarnated.
Right.
Pretty much. All right. So let's go from there now. Let's go to the book. Let's deal with this situation that these anti-Christians or unchristians don't believe that the future kingdom is going to have slaves. So, whatever you got, you could bring it out.
Yeah, well, I'll start out with Revelation 13:9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. In other words, captivity is slavery.
That's right.
So it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And this, when you was bringing the lesson out, this is the first scripture I thought of, because the anti-Christians, they don't have patience for this to happen. They want it on this side now.
Right.
So they can't fathom we got to wait. And even then, Christianity, it boggles you down to not want vengeance.
Right.
So they like, no, man, we just got to assimilate and do the best we can here and
forgive your enemies.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this devil vocab will have you believe that this scripture is talking about that this is, if the saints that are going to go into captivity, they're going to go into captivity. The ones that are going to be killed with the sword are going to be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Now, who in their fucking right mind would be sitting there patiently waiting? Damn, I can't wait for them to put me in captivity or cut my head off or kill me.
Yeah.
Yahushua wasn't jumping for joy, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane. You know, it's like, damn, man, it's almost that time for me to get up on that cross, man. Oh yeah. Come on, Peter. Let's you know.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't all. He was praying to the Lord that he could do this some other way. Then nobody in their fucking right mind is sitting there waiting to be put to death. You know, for their belief. You know, if it got to go there, yeah, eventually they'll deal with what they got to deal with. But nobody's jumping up and down to to be put to death or to go into slavery or captivity. So that is some nonsensical, idiotic shit that you're talking about. But that's what happens when you let the devil, manipulate the minds of the people. That's why it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. Meaning, if your spiritual antennas are up, listen up to what the Lord is saying. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So if you led somebody into slavery, you're going into slavery. And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And that goes hand in hand with Exodus 21 and 16. Right? It says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Meaning what? This is what the saints of the Most High, which are the Israelites, are waiting for. They're waiting for the opportunity to get vengeance on their enemies. Because ain't nobody patiently waiting to go and be put to death, be put on a goddamn firing squad, or damn, I can't wait for them to chop my head off.
Or patiently waiting to go into slavery.
Right. Oh man, they got the shit. They making my chain right now. Oh, beautiful. And make sure you get it right, man. Make sure it's a little loose. I don't like that tight shit.
God.
Oh man, matter of fact, open up that bottle of Ripple. I'm ready to start celebrating because tomorrow I'm going into captivity. How stupid does that sound? That's just as ridiculous as, well, I'm gonna sell myself for a slave.
Yeah.
I want to be somebody's slave, but nobody's gonna buy me.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here, man. But these devils will have you believe that. What you got, bro?
Exodus 21 and 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand,
you could break it down too.
He shall surely be put to death. Right. So hey, that's going into the captivity, man. Yeah. Revelation 13, 9 to 10. And when the Lord come back, we're gonna be found in your hands. All right. We ain't in the physical slavery that we was in pre-1900s, 1800s. But I will say that slavery didn't end right away. Like when they signed the so-called Declaration of Proclamation, whatever it was, Emancipation Proclamation, it wasn't like, oh yeah, slavery was over. No, you had people still in hardcore slavery up into the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, and we're still in captivity.
Yeah, because
it went from physical slavery to physical slavery by way of contracts.
Yep, debt slaves.
You have your contractual slaves, which is pretty much everyone signing the dotted line, beginning with the mother, who signed the birth certificate. Then you have your driver's license, your social security card, and all of these other different adhesion contracts or contracts that you make with the government that has you tied into the system. Which makes you liable for whatever they say you're liable for.
Yeah.
So they're still slaves. And matter of fact, get Revelation 18. And we're going to come back to this. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep. Revelation 18, the souls of men.
Yep. And this is, what's still sold here in Babylon. All right. And that would be
1813. Want to start up some?
Let me see. Start at 12.
Okay. Revelation 18 and 12.
And this is all the stuff that's being sold here in Babylon. You got it. Says, Babylon the Great, which is America. You got it.
Yep. It says the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble.
Right, and these are all things you can find all throughout America. In Manhattan itself, which they call the city, right? You have something called the wholesale district where you can find all these things. You can find, perfumes. You can find oils, incense, urns, vases, rugs. I mean, you can find whatever. You go to Cali, they got their different places where you can go to. There's swap meets, which are so-called flea markets, where you can find all of these different goods, and you can find the cheap shit, or you can find the upper end shit. You can find cars, I mean, anything that you want that you could sell that will make a person make money in America, you'll find it here. Different meats, right? And they're coming from different places. Even right now, there's a ban. I believe there's a ban, if I'm not mistaken, on beef coming from Mexico because it was tainted with something that has something was wrong with it. So now with that production of beef stopping coming in, the production of beef in America cut down. Those prices, they say, are going to go skyrocket. But you got it.
And cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour. Yeah, you get a lot of French wine.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots.
There go your cars.
And slaves and souls of men.
So they're still being sold here. So what did he say in Exodus 21 and 16?
It says, Exodus 21 and 16, it says, and he that stealeth the man and selleth him.
Right, so you stole, first of all, the men and women, children from here, from these so-called Americas, send them over to Spain, Portugal, and other places. Mm-hmm. Then you stole the southern kingdom from the western coast of Africa, brought them over here to the so-called Americas, and you sold them. Yeah. Because you said, look, we can't, because Columbus, look, we can't find the gold that we want, so we can use these people for slaves. They make good slaves.
Mm-hmm. Can I add too?
Yeah, please.
Also, with what was it? The Social Security Act. That was another way the American citizens was sold as collateral for the debt of the American government.
Beautiful.
And then even now in today's time, when they sell your information, to further advertise to you and make money off of you.
Yeah.
So you just being sold all across the board.
Yeah, and even your birth certificates. All the birth certificates are printed on banknotes, I believe it's called, if I'm not mistaken on the term. Mm-hmm. So they all, and they're all traded on the open stock market. All that your birth certificates. Why? Because when people are born, they're pretty much made slaves from the beginning, and they're pretty much sold on the open stock exchange. This is still happening to this day, but some stuff is not put out there, as commodities, like corn and pork and all, pork belly and all that shit. You have plenty of slaves and that are being traded on an open stock exchange, unbeknownst to most people.
Yep.
Only a few of them know.
I was gonna say that's why they say I was watching this little podcast. And the guy was talking about that's why nothing gets fixed. That's why your roads don't get fixed. That's why your schools don't get funded.
Yep.
Because the money the taxes that you're paying is not going back in to you to help you. The resources is going to pay off the debt. You pay off the debt.
Right. And who is the debt owed to? The same people that created the Federal Reserve Bank, the Federal Reserve Act, which became law. Is going back to the international bankers. That's why the legislative body of America that creates all of these different legislations legislate for who? For big business. Yeah. Because big business is the one that's paying them. That's why when you look at the fine print of a lot of these laws, it's all in the benefit of the people that's doing business or the corporations that are doing business in this country. You got it, bro.
Yeah, finishing out the verse, Exodus 21:16 says, and he that stealeth the man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
And that's how we still found in your hands through these contracts. So you set up the 13th Amendment where, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist in the U.S., but then you put a clause in there, except for, like any type of criminal activity. I'm just pretty much paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
And pretty much what did they do? They found a loophole. They said, okay, we got to free the slaves, otherwise they're gonna come down hard on us. So let's free the slaves, but then let's trump up charges on these same slaves so that they can work for free on the chain gangs.
Vagrancy laws was one of the first ones.
Look at that.
Like what like you free them, where they supposed to go.
Exactly.
That's why it's productive for them to keep making laws. See, if this was a true republic, it'd be okay. These are the laws, and that's it. But they just keep making them like what is it? Wisdom of Solomon, 2nd chapter. It says, "Let their strength be the law of justice." Mm-hmm. So they make laws, break them, bylaws at their whim as it benefits them.
Right. Yeah, because it's all for their benefit, not for the benefit of anybody else. I'm gonna read this quick precept the brother put up. Baruch 3:8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. Because we are subject to payments. Why? Because of these contracts. It says, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. Right. And that's why Jacob's talking that shit. Where was the Most High during slavery? Well, he was sitting back and watching us get our ass kicked because we sinned against him. Mm-hmm. But you don't understand that. And you don't accept that. It says, the brother also put intercolonial trade. Sometimes Native American slaves were traded between different European colonial powers. Mm-hmm. All right. With British colonies in North America also receiving some Native American slaves from other regions. During the era of slavery, Hispanic and Native American slaves were often shipped to the Caribbean islands, particularly places like Barbados, Jamaica, and Hispaniola, now Haiti and the Dominican Republic, as well as to Spanish colonies in South America, where they forced to work on plantations and in mines, and some being transported to the southern colonies of British North America as well.
That's why I forget his actual name, Squanto. That's why he spoke English. That's why he was able to greet the settlers in English when they came, because he was sold into slavery. And somehow he made it back over here, and he greeted them in English. I forget his real name though, because Squanto just means man, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's why he was able to, he knew English already. He was a slave.
Hey man, you devils got a lot to pay for, and that's why devils like Vocab and others don't want to accept, reincarnation, because they know that if they accept the reincarnation, they have to accept that they're going to have to pay. Mm-hmm. All right. So now let's go from there. Let's go to Daniel 7, unless you got anything.
I got something.
Okay, bring it out.
Psalm 149 and 6.
And that's why the slavery is going to begin with these devils, the international banking families, and all of these different higher ups in this society. The hoi polloi, as they say, which some say that doesn't mean what it means, but hey, as the definition of the hoi polloi was, if it changed whatever, they doing the newspeak shit. The whole hoi polloi were like the top, rich peoples, so that's who the Lord's coming to get first. He's coming first to visit you nations, your governments, your militaries, and once he takes you out, then he's coming for you. He's coming for your fruit.
Yeah. Well, you strike the head, the body follows.
That's it, because he's coming for you bankers. You got it.
Yep. No. I said it. Want me to read?
Yeah. Where you gonna start? Verse 5.
I want to start from 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Psalm 149.
Where we gonna start?
6, but 5, just one verse.
All right. Yeah.
It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds."
Why? Because who are the saints? The Israelites. Why? What is glory? The glory is the kingdom of heaven. Why are we going to be joyful in the glory in the kingdom of heaven? Because we're not going to have to be subject to payments anymore. We're not going to have uncertain dwelling places. We're going to have sure dwelling places. Our food, our water is not going to deplete. It's not going to lack. There's not going to be any famine. There's not going to be any oppression among the Israelites. There's not going to be, slavery among the Israelites. There's not going to be any of that, you know, them sufferings and hardships and the curses that we've been subjected to for so long.
Yeah. No anxiety.
Right. There you go. And that's part of it, because it says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness. And it said, in everything that you put forth your hand to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it means every venture you take to you know, better yourself, you're going to have some form of vexation.
Yep.
You know? You got it.
Yep. It says, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand.
And what is a two-edged sword? It's a killing instrument. You know, it's for judgment. Judgment.
Yep.
You got
It
it.
says to execute vengeance upon the heathen.
So it's to do something, to execute. What does it mean to execute? Mean to put into motion.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look up that word execute real quick. Let's see what it says. When you execute somebody, what do? You take them out on the spot. Execute is the word aisha, which means to do.
Mm-hmm.
So to execute means to put it into motion. So what is going to be executed? The things that are written.
Yep.
Here is the patience
And the faith
of the saints.
Yeah.
The water for helping me finish it, because my mind drew blank at the last part of it. Hey, that's what the Lord said, but 2 or 3 are gathered. So you have the word there, aisha, right? Which is to do, fashion, accomplish, make, produce, act with effect. See, to execute, meaning to put it into effect.
Yep.
Let me get the etymology. I just want to see the word. I know the word X is out. Execute. This is how, you know, hey, a name for a lesson could be cooking in the spirit.
Yeah.
You know, and that'll be like a you know, flowing in the spirit type.
Learning as you teaching. Yep.
Yeah. Execute, to carry into effect. See. Let's see. Also, carry out or accomplish a course of action. From medieval Latin executare, from Latin execute, past stem exesqui, to follow out. Yep, to follow out. So X is out, to follow out. So pretty much the X is out, and the secute is to follow out. So to execute means to follow out, meaning to inflict capital punishment.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the capital punishment that's going to be inflicted? Let's go back. Let's read that verse again.
Psalm 149:7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people.
Right. To execute vengeance upon the people and to execute vengeance upon the heathen, which are the other nations, and punishments upon the people. Of course, it's not talking about the Israelites, because the Israelites are going to be the ones that's going to be executing this. Well, how do you know that? It says the saints. The saints have this glory.
Yep.
And this is what the saints are waiting for. Now, doesn't it make more sense to say the patience is the saints waiting to get vengeance on their enemies than waiting to be put to death, waiting to be executed?
Yeah, but it coincides. The Lord said, wait upon me.
Beautiful.
All right. The Lord, he says, I will repay. So you can't take vengeance into your own hands. And another word, I want to bring this out too. Another word for vengeance is justice.
Yeah.
See, if somebody wrong you, well, you're gonna be, in a bad case until you get the justice.
Right.
Now you feel better. Now you got closure. People always talking about closure. Well, now you got closure for that act that happened against you.
Yeah, because everyone wants closure in their life for whatever wrong has been done to them. They want justice.
Yep.
So now, matter of fact, you know what? We're gonna finish this up and then let's go to Numbers. Because how can you get justice, from a nation of people that have committed such atrocities upon the Israelites here in America? It's just in America alone, from Canada all the way down to South America and everything in between. How do you get justice? By inflicting upon them the same punishments that they inflicted on us.
Yeah.
And if you have a different mindset than that, then you're a bug out. You have a slave mentality, and you're a goddamn devil. Because you don't want to pay dealing with you devils out there. Go ahead.
verse 8, it says to bind their kings with chains.
Right. So the binding of kings with chains, as we see here, these are some well-dressed individuals, and they're what? Got manacles on, chains. All right. Your women, your men, and we even gonna have baby chains for your toddlers. Motherfucker gonna be little kid dragging along.
Yep.
Oh, that's cruel. Yeah, well, what the fuck did they do to us?
Yep.
So that's cruel to think that way. The heart shall meditate terror, but it's not cruel to go and talk about what they did to our babies. Gator bait. You know, taking a woman pregnant on the island of Puerto Rico. Remember Richard? Remember on the island of Puerto Rico, the Ephraimite woman? There were Ephraimite women on the island of Puerto Rico? Inside joke. You know, but taking them, you know, stringing them up by the hands over fire, cutting their bellies out, cutting their bellies open, pulling the baby out, and smashing their heads against a stone. That's cool. But us, you know, meditating vengeance on you and having your babies being dragged, you know, with a baby chain, a rusty baby chain. Yeah. That's cruel.
Yeah, it's hypocrisy.
Yeah,
because those gutter rats over there, when they're in like high school, matter of fact, when they're in elementary, they teach them to hate. They teach them to hate the Germans about what so-called happened.
Right.
Then they was interviewing them, even the women. They was like, "Well, how do you feel? I want to kill them. I want to kill their kids." They recorded saying that on video.
Yeah.
They ain't talking about, oh, I want to do that to the people that did it. They talking about they want to kill the current people.
Yeah.
So it says to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So that's something that's called, what do people call that today, right? They get it from that so-called Indian teaching, karma. See, karma cool to believe and understand. You hear everybody talking about it. Karma's a bitch. Well, what about this? Karma fine up until it pertains to our people. But it's just like the scripture says, who will plead thy cause? Who will bemoan thee? Who will ask how thou doing? Like the scriptures in Jeremiah and Lamentations, basically saying, look, these people don't care about these other heathen nations. They don't care about your plight because they happy about it. And then what they do is they mind fuck our people. Pardon my French. They mind fuck our people to blame ourselves and to look down on ourselves with this whole with Christianity. Because the notion of Christianity is you a Gentile, so be happy, be thankful that you ended up in slavery. Because now you got a chance to make it into heaven. You was over there in Africa chucking spears, swinging from trees, walking around naked. Now you got civilization. See?
Yeah, and karma is cool when it benefits them,
Mm-hmm.
but not when it benefits anyone else that wants vengeance upon them. All right, so are you finished there?
One more verse.
Okay, go ahead.
To execute upon them the judgment written.
You can't get around what's written. You got to go back to the contract, big boy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get around what's written. What's written in the contract is what? Judgment upon you. That's why the Lord said He's coming to visit you for the controversy of Zion. He said He was but a little displeased with the heathen. You know? And I'm sorry, He was only but a little displeased with us, but the heathen helped forward the affliction.
Yep.
You helped take it to the extreme. You went above and beyond.
Yep.
You know, so guess what? Double unto you. And just sep it.
Yep. It says, this honor have all His saints. Praise ye Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
So let's go back to Revelation 13 real quick before we go to the other one. And read the 10th verse again. Now you understand it makes more sense. Now this is the patience, you know, and the faith of the saints. Now you understand what that means. It's not talking about the saints waiting to be executed. They just can't wait to be put to the sword or to be put in captivity. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It says Revelation 13:10. It says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
And what are the saints waiting for? To get vengeance upon their enemies. We just read one situation in the book of Psalms, the 149th chapter. Now let's go from there to Numbers, unless you got something.
Yeah.
Okay, bring it up. What you got?
Revelation 19:2. It says, "For true and righteous are his judgments, for he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand."
Beautiful, because it says, go to 17:6.
It says, Revelation 17, verse 6. It says, "And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of martyrs of Yahushua." So I think with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
So pretty much, that's what you did. Now you got to pay. Then go to Revelation 18:20. I'm sorry, 18:21. Matter of fact, no, start at the 20th verse. And then we'll go to Numbers 33.
Revelation 18:20. It says, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets."
When the Lord brings the vengeance upon them, because that's going to be the beginning stage of them paying. Because it's impossible for this land to be cleansed. You know how much blood has been shed in this land of the Israelites that has not been even accounted for? What you get when you get these different, documentations of the people that were killed here are just estimations.
Yep.
They're not actual, factual, down to the number. They are estimations, because it's impossible to keep track of all that killing. You got it.
It says, "For the Most High hath avenged you on her."
For the Most High hath avenged you on her. See? So we're supposed to rejoice. That's the patience and the faith of the saints, waiting for the judgment of the Lord upon them to bring vengeance upon them so we can get the upper hand over our enemies once and for all.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It says, "And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all."
Right. So with violence, this place is going to go out. And that's just going to be the beginning of your judgment. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And if you know anything about an iceberg, whatever you see, that's only 10% of the iceberg.
Yeah.
So the rest, the biggest part is down beneath the water. You have something?
Well, yeah. Revelation 6:9. It says, "And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?" Further backing up that patience.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Read the next verse.
It says, "And when he had," where I start from?
Verse 11 now.
Okay, so like it says, "And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until..."
What's that? The patience. And that's the ones that are in the heavens now. How much more the ones on the earth? Go ahead.
It says, "Until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled."
Right, and that's the patience and the faith of the saints. Now let's go to Numbers 33.
It says, is it 35 and 33?
Yes, Salakia. I got the combination backwards.
Numbers 35 and 33. It says, "So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it."
You got it.
Well, that's basically justice, or in math, they call it I forget if it's the law of detachment, or I think it's the law of detachment or the law of syllogism, something like that.
Damn.
Where it's basically if you do this, then this is the result. Right. If you do that, then that is the result. It's reciprocity.
Yeah.
Justice, so to speak.
That's it.
Because the Lord said, an abomination is a false balance.
Yeah. And it's impossible for you to pay. That's why the Lord is going to destroy this place by the nuclear missiles and the lasers from the chariots, which is going to begin the cleansing stage. Then afterwards, you'll go into captivity for 1,000 years of pay. And that's why it says double, because, the scriptures say that our hearts are going to meditate terror, when the kingdom of heaven is established, so you're going to pay double. So we'll work you to death and then bring you back from the dead and put you back to work.
God.
That's how you pay in double. And it's going to be a long 1,000 years. It ain't going to be, 1,000 years right now is as long as hell.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be, the normal 1,000 years. It's going to be that long, the dog days of summer 1,000 years. So let's go from there. Matter of fact, it says, so you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So how can America's blood of the saints be cleansed, if the people are not here? They are here. They're being reserved for judgment. A lot of these Edomites that you see, they are the generations that were of old. They've been softened now, but back then they were hard. You go to that book Without Sanctuary, you see devils taking pictures with jakes that were lynched, smiling, laughing, sending postcards to each other. So that means they weren't remorseful about that. They weren't like, this is bad, we shouldn't be doing this, because I don't think God likes this.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't remorseful. They were elated. So guess what? The Lord said He gonna laugh. He that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh, because He seeth that His day is coming. Your time is coming. Let's go from there to, unless you got something.
No.
Let's go to Isaiah 26 and 21.
Isaiah 26, verse 21, it says, for behold, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity.
And that's what the Lord said, to wait upon Him till He rises to the prey. Vengeance belongs unto the Lord. Therefore, give position for vengeance. Give. In other words, wait till the Lord opens up on these devils, and then we can get our pound of flesh, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
It says, the earth also shall disclose her blood.
Meaning there's a lot of blood in this land that has been hidden. The Lord is going to take that cover off and show what really happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the real amount of Israelites that you slain. That was stated in one of the scriptures, Revelation 17:6. Go ahead.
It says, and shall no more cover her slain.
Right, you're not going to be able to cover your slain because you didn't want to, pay. So whenever you were brought on charges for executing Jake, you were let off.
Yeah.
You were set free. You were given clemency. You were acquitted.
Yep.
But the Lord ain't going to acquit you. Because that's why it says, who possesses slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Yep.
But guess what? Your bill has been tallying up before the Lord. And now it's time for you to pay. And these are things that are in the scriptures that these devils, these so-called anti-Christians, these unchristians don't want to deal with. They just want to just erase that from the history.
Gosh.
They want to erase that from the books.
I was just going to quote Habakkuk, shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be associated with it because it put them in a bad light.
Beautiful.
Yep.
You got something?
Yep. Jeremiah 49:12.
Beautiful.
It says, for thus said Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunk.
Mm-hmm. And
art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. So as the children of the Lord, it was always our right and purpose to be the sons of God on earth, to be that righteous, glorious, superior people. And we drunk of the cup. So how much more are you? Like, who you think you is that you not going to receive judgment for the wrong you done? It's like rhetorical. It's like, and art thou he who shall go unpunished?
Yeah. Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. And Sam Benji put the scripture, Jeremiah 2:3. Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So it don't matter what the fuck you anti-Christians say. It matters what the Lord says. He's the authority. He's the one that set it forth in motion. Has he spoken and shall he not make it good? The Most High is going to make it good. He's the one that's going to give us justice. That's why we have to wait upon him to give us the upper hand and give us the power and give us the kingdom. That's why Peter asked the Lord, "Will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?" So we can begin our vengeance upon our enemies. Let's go to Daniel 7, and we'll go straight to the point, verse 18, and then jump to 27.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 18. It says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom."
Boom. And it's going to be by force. The Lord is going to rip. It's going to start off with Yahushua, who is a top Israelite. He's going to rip this kingdom from your ass. He's going to, bring judgment and war and righteousness and snatch your crown, Esau, from off your head. He's going to strip you of that pride. He's going to strip you of everything that you have, and it's all going to be transferred over to us. Go ahead.
"And possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever."
Right, because it's in the wrong hands right now. Even though it's in the right hands, it's in the wrong hands. And the Lord's going to put one over it that is beneficial, to rule, which is going to begin with Yahushua. So verse 27.
It says, "And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High."
The Israelites, not all nations. The nations are going to be there as servants, slaves, and they're going to be in their right order. They are not going to be equal with us. They are not going to benefit from what we benefit from. They're going to be servants. They are going to serve, and they're, after 1,000 years of slavery, then they're going to get their land back, be able to govern among themselves, and they will still be tributary to us. And they will be happy because they know they're going to get a fair shake. The only one that's going to be trembling in their boots is this devil, the Edomites. Go ahead.
"Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him."
Right. All dominions shall serve and obey him. Now go from there to Ezekiel 25 and 12 to 14. And I got one more precept after that. Then, if you want to say anything else, and we could just close it out, or, however the Spirit wants.
Ezekiel 25 and 12. It says, "Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance." See, they got their vengeance, right? Because when we was ruling over them under King David and King Solomon, they remember. All these other nations remembered what happened to them in the past. And when they got a chance to get their vengeance, they got it. But then they tell us forget. But you won't let the American Revolution go. That shit happened the 1700s or whatever. That shit, you tell us to let slavery go. That was long ago. You don't let that go. You don't let the so-called HOLO costs go. You don't let the damn 9/11 supposedly thing go. You don't let shit go that happened to you. It says
But you want everybody else to let everything go. You ain't special, motherfucker. We the special ones, and we caught hell. You got it.
It says, "And have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword."
That's dealing with here in America. This is an application to America today, because we haven't got vengeance on our enemies yet for all the shit that they've done, especially the Edomites. Go ahead.
"And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel."
So who's going to do it? The Lord's going to do it, but who is he going to use? He's going to use us to lay his vengeance upon you. So the Lord is going to put a fierce spirit in us to where even if we don't want to do it, we're going to have to do it. But we ain't going to not want to do it. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be even more than what we could fathom.
Right.
Because the spirit of the Lord will be in us to execute these things. Because he knows exactly what you devils deserve. Go ahead.
It says, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. Mm-hmm. And they shall know my vengeance, said the Lord power.
So you devils, you're going to know the vengeance of the Lord. You ain't seen nothing. All that hate and and death and violence that you brought upon us, you ain't seen shit yet. Wait till the Lord give us the upper hand and establish us in the kingdom of heaven. When we have the upper hand, you don't have to worry about you devils. I wanted to say something else, but I had to curb my words. Now let's go to Obadiah, read verse 10 and then jump down to 15.
Come. Obadiah
1 and 10.
Okay. Obadiah verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
That's what you got to look forward to. Jump to the 15th verse.
It says, for the day of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai is near upon all the heathen.
And this is what you devils want to try to get away from. You want to get away from the judgment that's coming to you devils, and you want to get away from the punishments that are coming to you, which is by way of slavery. Go ahead.
As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
So whatever you did is going to come back on you. Go ahead.
Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
So that's what you got to look forward to. Go ahead.
It says, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually.
Continually for 1,000 years. Go ahead.
Yeah, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
Because you're not going to have a choice. You're going to accept it, whether you choose or whether you refuse. Go ahead.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
Right, because the land of Edom is always going to be there. But it's going to be transferred to Judah, which is the ones that they put the most hell upon. How's that for irony? Mm-hmm. The people that you put the most hell on are going to take your land. They're going to have, power over you. And you're going to be helpless. Go ahead.
It says, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame.
That's the two kingdoms coming together. Go ahead.
And the house of Esau for stubble.
So they're going to, the house of Jacob and the house of Joseph are going to come together and be this fire of affliction that's going to come upon you. And then we're going to round the rest of you devils up that are left in 1,000 years after the once the kingdom is established, and set you on fire.
How about that?
Set them all on fucking fire. That's the only solution I can think of. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
It says, and they shall, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh by Shem Yahushai has spoken it.
Not you devils. Yahweh by Shem Yahushai has spoken it. There's not going to be any one of you devils remaining. And the Edomites already done away with. Yeah, when? We need some dates. We need some documentation. We need some proof. Because even your scholars agree. Even David Guzik agrees that the Edomites are going to be in rulership when Yahushua comes back. Even though he doesn't accept it. But I don't give a damn if you accept it or not. It's what's written in the scriptures. So you got to pay. And then you're going to be, the same demons that did all this evil shit to us are going to be rounded up one day and burnt up. And there will never be any more devils, Edomite devils on the planet Earth being named Esau or Edom or none of that. You're going to be gone. What the Lord's going to do with your spirit, we don't know. Go to the Most High, say he don't even want your spirit no more. Inside joke. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, there were, you know, theories back then that, you know, the Lord was going to bring you among the other nations, you know, but we know that your spirit ain't going to be destroyed completely because it's a part of the Most High Spirit. But as a people, you will never step foot on the earth as far as the nation of Edom. No, and it remains to be seen what's going to happen to you when the kingdom of heaven is established and after you're destroyed and serve your punishment. And, you know, anything you wanted to say? So with that, you know, we pray that you brothers and sisters have been edified. The anti-Christian's unbelief of the future kingdom. That's not going to make the Most High's words of none effect. Let the Most High be true, but every man a liar.
So be it.
Shalom.
Shalom.